Lisa always starts by saying, "Welcome, beloveds." Well, you are beloveds, all of you. We each are. As the expressions of one source, we're all beloveds. But I'm an engineer, so I'm kind of more practical. So I just say, "Hi there. Welcome to another reading from Creative Life Spiritual Center's rendition of the Science of Mind magazine daily guides for the next 24 hours." Today's reading is kind of interesting. Well, it is interesting. Before I begin, I just wanted to remind everybody about our service tomorrow. The power is back on. I mentioned that yesterday. There will be an in-person service tomorrow. If you live anywhere in the vicinity, please come along. If you only come once a month, that's also great. But if you can come every week, like become a regular again, before the pandemic, we had more people in person than online. Well, we didn't have an online version, actually. It was just in person. We had a pretty good crowd every Sunday. And then all of a sudden, people went online. And now, to be honest, what people do is often people still come in the rooms, people still come online during the actual service. But I've noticed a lot of people, what they do is they watch the service afterwards. They go back in and watch it afterwards. And if you watch it on YouTube, then it's going to be a shortened version. It's going to be mostly just Reverend Jesse talking. I'm just encouraging everybody to try and come to the live broadcast because it is a little bit different. Whether it's online or in person, please come to the online broadcast. Tomorrow, the title is Beyond Pairs of Opposites. Beyond Pairs of Opposites. So come along for that. Let me see. I'm just going to start. I'm going to do the reading and then I'll come back and I'll make some comments. The first quote is from relatively young man by the name of Michael Bassey Johnson. He was born in 1994. And I guess he doesn't think of himself as a kid anymore. He's 30, right? And it's from Night of a Thousand Thoughts. And reading in his own words, he was born on April 20th, 1994. He's a progressive author, poet, dramatist, philosopher, nature enthusiast, and pioneer of the curious observer movement. And as a versatile and unconventional writer and thinking, Michael's writings are centered around nature, human psychology, motivation, success, art, dreams, and the collective human experience. And from his photograph, he looks like he's African American, which really doesn't make any difference as far as his quotes are concerned. When you are friends with the storm, you dance instead of getting blown away. When you're friends with the storm, you dance instead of getting blown away. And he's speaking in the metaphorical sense, but it reminds me of the storm chasers actually who follow the storms, get involved with the storms, and they seem to survive occasionally. I guess they don't, but by and large, they do. If you think about it, I guess they know what they're doing and they survive. But he's speaking, of course, in the metaphorical sense. And that was Michael Bassey Johnson. Ernest Holmes in Sermon by the Sea at Silmar. It was his last major speech to the religious science community. He passed away in the following year. This is in 1959. He passed away in 1960. And he said, and this really shows me the humility of the man, who actually was followed by literally thousands and thousands of people. He says, others will arise who will know more than we do. They won't be any better or worse. They will be different and know more than we do. Evolution is forward. And I would say evolution is forward and upward. That isn't humility from somebody who had attracted this huge following, written all these amazing books and publications. I don't know what is. And that's Sermon by the Sea at Silmar, and it's actually included in this, which is, you can see it. It's Ernest Holmes, at Asilomar. It's a big collection of all his stories. Asilomar used to be the place where what was then just a religious science movement met for a long, long time. And I was fortunate enough to graduate as a practitioner at Asilomar in the last year that it was held. It's been revised again in the last couple of years, but it was didn't happen for at least 10 or 12 years. And I was fortunate enough to become a practitioner at the end of that. Some of you will be able to relate to this, maybe some of you won't, but this is what Reverend Ryan has to say. I have a moderate fear of heights. I'll rephrase. I'm terrified of heights. This became apparent as I was ziplining over a 300-foot gorge in Mexico. I got halfway across when both my momentum and my bravery gave out. There I was, dangling 300 feet, 100 meters if you like, in the air, and the other side seemed like a mile away. It was so far away that all the others who had successfully completed their adventure looked like moving dots. Tunnel vision and panic set in. Not a good combination when you're dangling. And then, like a caped hero, my guide swooped in and delivered me safely to the other side. Fast forward to today. I'm still afraid of heights. As I remembered this story recently, I couldn't help but think how it relates to our experience of stepping into new ideas, new ways of being, and new ways of showing up in the world. Often, when we set the intention of stepping out of our comfort zones, we find the experience unsettling, uncomfortable, sometimes even terrifying. We may not know what lies ahead, and that can feel much like dangling from 300 feet. Then in swoop our spiritual practices, the hero, the heroine, universal truths, and our beloved community, like masked heroes, gently taking us by the hand and guiding us forward to steady ground. When we can lean into that support, we find ourselves buoyed, maintained, and sustained. Our dangling is replaced by being grounded. It's from this space that we can truly enjoy the view. The message here is really quite simple, at least to me. It's simply saying that when we've done our spiritual work, when we've done our quiet times, meditation, breathing, readings, listening, and when we know that we have a support of a community around us, the world can seem less threatening. And when difficulties do arise, which they do to a larger or a smaller extent for all of us, then we're much more able to face the storm. You know, there's at least one of our practitioners now who's going through a rough time. This person is losing their partner. Their partner is passing away. They're in hospice at home, but they're in hospice. And this person's got lots of responsibilities. The storm just blew through and it wasn't very kind to them. And I know that this person finds great comfort in the fact that they are members of a community that supports them and they can reach out and they can ask for prayer, which they do. And I was on a call today with one of our ministers and one of our practitioners. We're discussing potential changes to the way we present practitioners on Sunday and interface with technology, really. And I encourage both of them. And I say, look, just because you're a minister or a practitioner does not mean to say that you don't reach out for help. Just like everybody else, when you need help, you reach out for help. And I encourage my other minister colleagues, I encourage all our practitioners and everybody who needs help, reach out for help, whether it's material help, it's spiritual help, you want prayer, you just want comfort, you just want a listening ear. Reach out. because then you can actually withstand this storm and you can enjoy the view. I can tell you this, I when I look down from a height, I feel a bit queasy in my stomach, but it has never ever stopped me from going rock climbing. And it didn't stop me from going in the French Alps and looking down and seeing, I don't know how far it was, I'm guessing 2,000 meters, 6,000 feet of just air beneath me and nothing as I was physically rock climbing vertically. And surprisingly, it didn't bother me when I was doing that, and it didn't bother me looking around. But if I stand on top of a tall building, I do get queasy, but I don't know why. It's not tremendous, but there it is. The bottom line here is that, when the storms of life come along, then when we're properly grounded, we're able to withstand them more, and we're able to start seeing the world in a different way. And even when things are going moderately okay or okay, we can actually appreciate it. Sometimes I think the purpose of life is to enjoy it. It's simply to be grateful for life and to enjoy it. I think it's a wonderful privilege to have been given the opportunity to live on this planet as a human being. I think it's a tremendous, tremendous, wonderful thing, and I'm very grateful for it. And that's really all I got to say, except to remember two things. So you know what I'm going to say before I say it. Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Our service will be in person and it will be online tomorrow, and it will be at 11. And if you come online, and I want to encourage you to pull up the chat and click on the Zoom link, and then you can actually attend the service in a Zoom room with other people. So you're actually not attending on your own anymore, as it were, or in the room. Maybe do have a group of people, but if you're in the room on your own, you're watching the service, and you click on that Zoom room, then you won't be alone anymore. There'll be other people there with whom you can share things. So give it a try. It's really cool. Then at the end of the service, of course, we'll have a practitioner of the day who will be in that Zoom room soon and will be able to support and help you. So until next time, have a great rest of the day. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And remember, I think I forgot to mention it. Every month there's a theme for the month. I don't know who dreams them up. This month is it's Asian American and Pacific Islander month. It's Asian American and Pacific Islander month. So if you're one of that group, like my wife is, then have a wonderful month. If you're not, wish others whom you know who are part of that group to have a wonderful month. So until next time, take care, and I will be back tomorrow evening around about 5 o'clock Central Time. Till then, namaste.